So stories we tell ourselves
Yeah.
to is it to help people understand we're all telling ourselves stories? Is it to help people know not to let those stories get in their way of doing things?
Yeah, I think it's to succeed in work and life is the point. And what we find, some of the research talks about a very popular idea of imposter syndrome, of course, and 70% of all professionals at least once in their career will suffer from that overwhelming of anxiety of like, I think I've bitten off too much that I can chew, I can't do this job, or I can't take the promotion, or, right? Blokes don't talk about it because they just pretend.
Yeah.
Women historically have been much better about discussing it, bless them. Men have got a lot to learn, right? And I think being able to identify the thing, often it's you that are holding yourself back.
Yeah.
And I've sort of seen this time and time again as a journalist, in business, working with clients. We can actually put our own handbrake on, and it's easy to point the finger and blame others or the system. And I'm not saying that those factors are not there. Of course they are. But what I'm going after is the sort of hidden narrative that I've wrestled with around, well, can I do this? Am I good enough? Do I have what it takes? And so forth. And a lot of that actually comes down to when you start rewriting or looking at the stories you're telling themselves. It's importantly, it's very disarming in a good way, right? When you actually write it down and you can say, I've actually been telling myself this lie for a really long time. If I was to change that, what would that look like? We talk about begin with the end in mind in business.
Yeah.
So what's the end that you've got in mind? What's the story going to look like if you think of yourself as an author? And we're talking about CMOs and CEOs and professionals, and I've interviewed more than 200 leaders of all types, but mostly CMOs and marketers on the CMO Show podcast. And the women who do really well have a clear picture of who they are and what they want to do and what they want to get done, right? And they just do it. And it's enormously inspiring. Even as the interviewer, I'm like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be like you. Like, right? There's something about the boldness and the confidence that just says, now, but the interesting thing is, even the successful people have those lingering doubts,
Absolutely.
right? They're just probably better at the bluster than the rest of us.